Hi, I'm Alison Stockdale, class of 2000, and I'm a Sweetbriar woman.
So what did you study at Sweetbriar?
I was a government major.
What else did you do beyond your major?
I was a QV. I did cheerleading. I went abroad junior year to Australia and also Washington, D.C.
What did you do after graduation?
I looked for a job. For some time, my goal had been to go into federal law enforcement and or politics. And when that didn't pan out, I ended up just getting a job as a contractor for the Bureau of Labor Statistics, which is under the Department of Labor. And after that, I became a background investigator, doing background investigations for the federal government. And eventually, I got hired here at the Department of the Interior.
What do you do here?
Now I work in the drug and alcohol testing branch. I help the department with their drug-free workplace program, which is ensuring that individuals who work here remain drug-free. And we also help 60 other federal agencies with their drug-free workplace programs.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Did attending a women's college help you in your career, or did you believe it hindered your process?
I feel like going to Sweetbriar prepared me for leadership and being able to eloquently state my case, argue a case, taught me to stand up for myself. Because I had leadership positions at Sweetbriar, I was already somewhat prepared for taking that on in the workforce. At Sweetbriar, there was a really strong emphasis on writing, speaking. Because of the small class sizes, everyone got a chance to participate. All of those skills and practices that I did at Sweetbriar translated into real-world job situations where sometimes I would be called on to state my case or fight for something. And having those skills at Sweetbriar certainly helped me in the workforce.
Did you feel ready to enter the workforce?
I feel ready. Well, I had held jobs since I was about 12 years old. So working was never something that I was scared of. Certainly there is a transition period where, it's all on you now. Your parents aren't there anymore and you're expected to get to where you need to be and dress professionally and set up everything that needs to be done. And so I think there is a transition time to get your feet wet, but yeah, I was ready. I went to 4 years of school, lived on my own there. Yeah, I was ready to get out there and do something.
Did you do any internships that might have helped the transition?
I did 3 internships while at Sweetbriar. One of them was at the Lynchburg Police Department. Another was at the Arlington, Virginia jail and courthouse, and another was with a reproductive rights organization here in DC that fought for women's reproductive rights.
Did you feel more or less prepared than your colleagues who may have gone to co-ed institutions?
I feel like I was somewhat better prepared because of the small atmosphere that Sweetbriar has. There's a great network of alumni who are able to support you, answer questions, guide you. And I think that that's missing from going to a larger organization. I feel quite comfortable reaching out to people who are still either at Sweetbriar or who have since left and asking them questions professionally about anything. And being able to attend alumni events here in the Washington, D.C. area or going back to the college. I just feel like the community that you get at Sweetbriar is something that is not recreated at other organizations.
I agree. Did attending Sweetbriar affect your career choice at all?
I definitely felt prepared to make the decision about what career I wanted to take. I appreciated the time and effort that Career Services put into helping me polish my resume and my interview capabilities. I feel like I had all of the tools necessary to be able to move forward.
What would you say to someone who might be choosing Sweetbriar, and why did you choose Sweetbriar?
So I focused on all women's colleges from the get-go because I was impressed with women I had met who had attended all-female institutions. And I hope that when I talk to people who are perspectives, I'm bringing forth that same kind of attitude and polish that maybe they're looking for in a school atmosphere. Sweetbriar has been nothing but supportive while I was there and afterwards. I really appreciate and cherish the relationships, not only with friends, but students that are still there and alumni that are older, graduated before me are. I would try and convince them that they were going to receive an education that they weren't going to get anywhere else. The academics, the friendship, the community, the network after the fact, those are all going to be things that benefit them while they're there and after they move on.
What do you remember most about your Sweetbriar experience when you look back?
I would say the connections that I have, the lifelong friendships that I've made, but also I do think about the academics. I mean, sitting in a classroom with 8, 15, 30 people, you're able to have conversations and really dig deeper into subject matter that maybe you wouldn't get at other schools. I definitely had times or epiphanies where I felt like I was seriously grasping material and being introduced to new topics or subjects that maybe I wouldn't have been.
Where did you study abroad, and would you encourage other?
Absolutely. So I studied abroad here in Washington, D.C. at American University. They had a politics program at the time that I was interested in, and it also had a justice aspect to it. And that was a fun experience just because it's different than Sweetbriar. It was a big city atmosphere. They had different subject matter. I then went to Newcastle University in Newcastle, Australia, and that, like any other international experience, is just eye-opening in and of itself. I also went to Paris, France with my French class while I was at Sweetbriar, and that was, besides travel to Canada when I was a kid, that was my first international trip. And so there were so many things that I did at Sweetbriar that ended up just opening up my eyes and new experiences. And my study abroad in Australia, here in DC, and then that trip to France were just life-changing. You look at things completely different from an international perspective. So I really appreciated that opportunity was available.
Did you have any favorite traditions when you were at Sweetbriar?
I think the ones that have survived are probably all our favorites. Lantern bearing, step singing. Those are ones that I enjoy looking at photos of girls doing it now down there and remember fondly when I participated in those.
Would you say it was attainable to balance academics as well as your extracurriculars at Sweetbriar?
Absolutely. I never felt like there was, you often feel like, oh, there's so much going on, I need to run to this and I need to run to that, but in hindsight, it's definitely all manageable. You're there to learn, but you're also there to participate in activities if you choose to. And I never felt like I was being pulled in too many directions. I chose and sought out opportunities instead of being, forced to join clubs or do something like that.
You mentioned leadership roles. Do you have any examples off the top of your head?
Sure. So at one point, I think I was class treasurer. I couldn't tell you what year that was. It might have been sophomore. I did run for something my senior year while I was I ran for it my junior year for senior year, and I did not win. That might have been class president, which is in and of itself still a great opportunity. We can't win them all, and I was really proud of the woman who ended up getting elected, and she did an awesome job, and it's a great experience to put your name out there, see what happens, and you can't win them all, but the positions that I did hold, I appreciated. I learned a lot. And I was excited to have those opportunities when they were available.
Did you feel like you learned more about leadership outside the classroom than you might have at another place?
I think that at a smaller college such as Sweet Briar, you have more opportunities available to you. There are so many organizations or opportunities that if I had wanted to be involved in several different things, it's a little more possible, I think, at Sweet Briar than maybe at some other places.
Do you have any questions, Becca?
Well, I don't know. You were saying that your first job was consulting. Is that at all math related or anything?
It's not. So, well, it was a contract position with the Bureau of Labor Statistics, which I was not a numbers person in school. You quickly realize, though, to have any job, you're going to probably be involved with numbers. So, but at that job, I was more involved with data compilation and helping obtain the numbers that are used for trend analysis in the U.S. employment. And I only was there for 6 months, but it was a great experience working for the federal government, even though I was a contractor. And it was my first, job outside of college. So it was a good experience, but as soon as I got an opportunity to work as a background investigator and carry a badge and go and knock on people's doors and sort through their dirty laundry, it was something that was very intriguing to me. So I hopped at that chance and did that for about 2 years before becoming an actual federal employee here at Interior.
So do you currently have a badge?
I don't.
You can't
It's
flash
a bummer,
it to us?
I know, right?
You're like, I'm Alison Stockdale.
Exactly. I never did that anyways, but I only showed it when introducing myself. But yeah, it had been a goal at one point to go into federal law enforcement, so that was something that was very intriguing to me from the get-go. But then when this opportunity opened up, because when I first started working here at Interior, it was with security, and so it was kind of quasi-law enforcement related, and so it kind of satisfied that desire in me. But then when I saw the opportunities available in drug testing, that's when I decided to jump over to drug testing.
If you had one piece of advice to give current students, what would that be?
To keep an open mind and try new things. I think sometimes it's easy to do what we've always done, but it really takes some courage to try new things and to keep an open mind.